Our observation round presenter told us that which annual event takes place on the back lawn? In this observation round, I'm going to show you a video shot specially for Quiz the Nation by a very good friend of ours. At the end of the video, I'm going to ask you 8 questions about you've seen and heard on the video. So it's really important to watch everything. What's in the foreground, what's in the background, and pay careful attention to everything that's said during the video. You can take notes, of course, but I would suggest your eyes never leave the screen, as anything can come back to you in the form of a question. So, are you concentrating? Here comes the video.
Hello there, Quiz the Nation. I'm Sal Rourke, greeting you from Washington, D.C., right in front of the Washington Monument. Now, this was built to honour the first President of the United States of America, George Washington. Its cornerstone contains a portrait of Washington, some US coins and a copy of the Constitution, and was laid on the 4th of July, 1848. And in the crowd that day, amongst thousands, the lesser-known Congressman Abraham Lincoln. Now, the monument was officially opened in 1888 and stands at 555 feet tall with 50 flights of stairs. It was the tallest man-made structure in the world until the Eiffel Tower was completed a year later. A moment ago I mentioned Abraham Lincoln, and here on the National Mall you'll also find the Lincoln Memorial, built to honour the 16th President of the United States. Although he was assassinated in 1865, work on this memorial didn't begin until 1914, and it was officially open to the public on the 30th of May 1922. Now, I couldn't bring you to Washington, D.C. and not show you 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, more commonly known perhaps as the White House, and home to every serving president since 1800. However, its most famous room, the Oval Office, was built more than 100 years later in 1909 and has been the President's working office ever since. And did you know that the White House has 6 levels, 8 staircases and 35 bathrooms? The South Lawn, also known as the Back Lawn, is where the President comes and goes in his presidential helicopter, Marine One. It's also the official setting for meeting and greeting and the annual Easter egg roll, which takes place on Easter Monday. Well, thanks for joining me in DC. That's all for now, but do remember those facts and figures, because guess what? It's question time.
Thank you, Sally. A brilliant tour of Washington. Now keep concentrating, because here come the questions. Question 1. In front of which landmark was Sally standing at the start of the video? Here are your options. Make your choice. Question 2. We saw a close-up of the Washington Monument with some flags in the background. How many flags could we see? Here are your options. Question 3. The monument's cornerstone, containing some US coins and a copy of the Constitution, was laid on what date? Your options. Question 4. Sally told us that a little-known congressman from Illinois was in the crowd of thousands that day. He would later become president. What was his name? Here are your options. Question 5. The monument was opened to the public in 1888, standing at 555 feet high and containing how many flights of stairs? There are your options. Question 6. The Lincoln Memorial, built to honour the 16th President, is found at the end of the National Mall. Despite being assassinated in 1865, construction didn't start until 1914. When did the memorial officially open to the public? Here are your options. Question 7. How many Parthenon-style columns could we clearly see supporting the roof at the front of the Lincoln Memorial? And here are your options. And finally, question 8. Sally showed us the White House and told us that there is another name sometimes used for the South Lawn, where the President arrives and departs in the presidential helicopter Marine One. What is the other name? Here are your options. Sally told us that which annual event takes place on the back lawn? There are your options. Well, that's all of the questions for the observation round completed and the final spot prize question. So I'm now once more going to give you the usual minute to tidy up your answer papers and hand them over to someone else for marking, or, as usual, just get them ready to mark yourselves. Are you ready for the answers? Each correct answer is worth 1 point. Answer to question 1 was the Washington Monument. Question 2. How many flags could we see? 5. Question 3. The date? July the 4th, 1848. Question 4. The name was Abraham Lincoln. Question 5. How many flights of stairs? There are 50. Question 6. The date, May the 30th, 1922. Question 7. How many columns? There were 12. And question number 8. What's the other name? The back lawn.